And welcome back students to these online sessions organized by our school SLS. I am Atika Shakil. I will be teaching you social studies in grade 6. I hope you all are good and staying safe at your home. As we are studying chapter number 21, Islam first reaches the subcontinent. Our today's topics from this chapter are: number 1, policies introduced by the Arab Empire in Sindh. It's on book page number 95. Number 2, the Ghaznavids. It's on book page number 96. Eliciting of previous lesson. Before proceeding to our today's topic, here is a quiz assessment for all of you to assess your learning of the previous topic. You can see I have listed 6 questions here. If you can answer all of them, bravo to you. But in case you couldn't answer any of them, I want you to revise the topic. Moving to our first topic, policies introduced by the Arab Empire in Sindh. There are certain terms to know. Number 1, governors, chief executive officers of a province or provincial level division in a country. They are people who are appointed by government that help them in smooth running of the state affairs at provincial level. Number 2, administration. It means management or a body that administers. Administration also consists of a group of people who collectively help government in running the all state affairs in a smooth way to make sure that all laws that are made by government they are implemented properly. Number 3, priests. Religious people who are trained to perform services at church or temple. Qazi, judge in a Muslim community whose decisions are based on Islamic religious law. Cultural blend, merging of different values, lifestyles, habits, beliefs, and customs of two different societies or nations. One of the most known examples of cultural blend is of Hindus and Muslims. Hindus and Muslims both share a lot of things, including their lifestyles, the way they celebrate their events, so we can say that Hindus and Muslims, they depict a cultural blend. Navigate, to plan and direct the course of a ship, aircraft, or other forms of transport. Course means the way or direction that a ship or any other form of transport takes for moving from one place to another place. Now, reading of book page number 95. Here you can see I have displayed page number 95 of chapter number 21. As you can see, I have highlighted certain points. I want all of you to keep your highlighter with you and highlight the points on your book because all these highlighted points, they are important for your objective preparation. Now I'm going to start the reading. Side by side, I will explain it to you. At first, the new territory was part of the Caliphate, but in 871, it became two independent Muslim states. Muhammad bin Qasim was recalled to Iraq, but Sindh continued as part of the Arab Empire for the next 200 years. Here, I want you to recall our previous lesson in which we studied how Muhammad bin Qasim and his army they conquered Sindh and other region of subcontinent till southern Punjab. Now, once that area was conquered by Muhammad bin Qasim, after that it became the part of Arab Empire, and Arabs were the one who were ruling this whole region for 200 years. Now the policies that they introduced in that area, we are going to discuss them one by one. Side by side, I will give you its explanation. Moving to point number 1. Governors were appointed by the Arabs, but actual administration was in the hands of the local people, both Muslims and non-Muslims. Jizya, non-Muslim tax, and zakat, both tax payable by Muslims, were collected. Here they are telling us that although Arabs appointed governors, but to keep equality and to give local people a sense of empowerment or authority, they were the one who were handling all the matters. As we know that Hindus and Muslims both were living together before partition and they were like one nation. So to avoid any conflict among them, Arabs gave both of them equal chance in administration. And when it came to tax collection, at that time too, if Muslims were giving zakat, that we know is one of the fundamentals of Islam, and every Muslim is bound to pay zakat if he can afford it. At the same time, they were also collecting jizya from non-Muslims too. Later on, that collective tax was utilized for the benefit of that area. Point number 2. Qazis were appointed to resolve disputes between Muslims while non-Muslims referred their problems to their own chiefs or priests. It was a time of caliphate, so all the policies were made according to the teachings of Islam. So whenever any fight or issue occurred among two Muslims, it was solved by Qazis because they were the one who gave decisions in the light of the teachings of Islam. And because we know our religion is a complete code of life and we can find help on any matter from the teachings of our religion. But when the problem was among non-Muslims, so they referred to their own chiefs or priests so that they could resolve their issue according to their own religious teachings. Point number 3. Besides the construction of mosques, temples were also built and repaired. This was also one of the positive points of Arab Empire, that they allowed non-Muslims to freely practice their religion by letting them build their temples or to repair them the way they allowed Muslims to follow their own religion and to build mosques. Point number 4. The Arabs married among the Sindhis and settled down in Sindh, and the interaction between the two races was a rich cultural blend. In this point, word cultural blend is used. We have already discussed what a cultural blend is. So, as it was a time when Arabs, they came to Sindh, Sindhis, they had different language, their lifestyle, their customs were different from those of Arabians. So, instead of being negative to each other, they began to accept each other's religion, each other's culture, and eventually they united in a good, positive relationship. Arabic was the official language and Sindhi was the first Eastern language for the translation of the Quran. The rulers were good to the people of the country. They were allowed to worship as they pleased, and most of the Hindu officials kept their jobs. With the land now free from pirates, the number of Muslim traders increased rapidly. Who are pirates? We have already discussed it in our previous lesson. If you remember, we studied that the port of Debel, it was the hot spot of pirates. They were more active there. But once that area got conquered by Muhammad bin Qasim, traders were free of that fear of getting snatched or robbed by pirates. As a result, the trade, it began to flourish in that area. As well as goods, they took back to Arabia and Persia many new ideas such as how to navigate their ships by using the stars and much knowledge about medicine. They learned new things about mathematics, especially the use of zero, which later led to many important discoveries. As we have already discussed about the cultural blend that occurred among Arabics and Sindhis, here they are telling us about one more thing, that Sindhis or local people, they transferred their knowledge of medicines or their knowledge of how to navigate their ships by using stars to Arabics and Persians also. Moreover, they also helped them in learning mathematics, in learning the use of zero that led to many other discoveries. Now, on the right hand side, you can see 3 pictures. The first one picture says, the Arabs learned a lot about astronomy. What is astronomy? Astronomy is a branch of science in which we study about the physical universe that exists beyond the Earth's atmosphere, in which we study about space, the stars, their location, their composition, each and everything. So here in the picture you can see there are 2 people. One of them is pointing towards stars and there is also a ship. So it means they're trying to find their way or trying to find the exact way for their ship to move. Number 2, second picture. The Arabs allowed local people to follow their own religion. Now in this picture you can see there are 3 men and all of them are wearing different costumes and their costumes represent their religion, or their culture from which they belong to. For example, the man behind the two other men is wearing costume that represents Hindus, and the other two men, they represent Muslims. The third one picture says there was a great increase in trade. Here in the picture you can see a ship and some containers or boxes that might be carrying some goods in them. Now that was all about this topic. Now we are moving to our next topic, the Ghaznavids. There are certain terms to know. Kandahar, a city and province in southern Afghanistan. Khyber Pass, a mountain pass connecting Pakistan and Afghanistan. It connects both countries through northwest. Silk Road, a trade route across Asia, North and Northeast Africa and Europe, historically used by silk traders. Who are silk traders? The road Silk Road has got its name because Chinese were the first who discovered how to make silk from silkworm. So when they began to make silk fabric, traders, they used to go to China and bring silk from there in large amount. As at that time the most of the trade was about silk and China was the country producing silk, so that road became famous as Silk Road, or because of silk traders. Rajputana. It means the land of the Rajputs. Was a region in India that included mainly the present-day Indian state of Rajasthan, where we have Thar Desert, along with the two other states and some adjoining areas of Sindh in modern-day southern Pakistan. Now here you can see I have displayed book page number 96 from chapter number 21. On right hand side you can also see a map. If you see the key of the map, this blue part, this whole region, it shows the Ghaznavid Empire. Moving to our reading. Before reading, I want to mention it again. You have to highlight the lines that I have highlighted here because they are important for your objective preparation. Starting the reading. The Ghaznavids were Muslims whose empire stretched from Central Asia to Afghanistan. Their capital was at Ghazni, near Kandahar. The king Subcontinent made many raids. Raids mean attack or invasions through the Khyber Pass into the northwest of the subcontinent for treasure and slaves, and later added the remaining part of the Punjab to his Muslim empire. Now I want your attention here on map. This blue part, it is showing Central Asia. This one region is showing Afghanistan, where you can see Kabul and Ghazni. And this region connecting from northwest of Afghanistan is rest of the subcontinent, or you can say the remaining part of the Punjab that later on Subcontinent added in his empire. His son, known as Mahmoud of Ghazni, continued the raids into India for another 30 years. He was very fierce in destroying Hindu temples, but otherwise a fair and just ruler. He allowed non-Muslims to follow their own religion as long as they paid the taxes. He let most Hindu officials and army officers keep their jobs. Here, if we compare this policy of Mahmud Ghazni with the policy of the Arab Empire, we can say that Arab Empire were more fair and honest while dealing with their nation, while dealing with their people, either that was Muslim or non-Muslim person. Both of them were having equal rights to freely practice their religion. Whereas Mahmud of Ghazni, he taxed non-Muslims or Hindus that if they had to follow their religion, they had to pay tax. He wanted to make his capital city Ghazni the most beautiful city in the world and took artists, architects, musicians, writers and scientists from the subcontinent to settle there. Now see this picture on your left hand side. It says coins from Subcontinent's reign. They were basically silver coins and the currency used at that time was dirham. These coins had Arabic, Sanskrit and Persian writing or language written on them. We are continuing our reading of same page, that is book page number 96. Before moving to reading, I want your attention here on the picture that says Mahmud marches through Rajputana. Where is Rajputana, or what does the word Rajputana mean? We have already discussed it. It means land of the Rajputs and it's a region in India. So this picture might be taken from the time when Mahmoud of Ghazni, he continued his raids in India for 30 years. Starting the reading. On this page 2, I have highlighted the first two lines, so you have to highlight them. The great trade route, the Silk Road, from China to the west went across part of the Ghaznavid Empire in Central Asia. China is the country from where the Silk Road starts, and from there it connects to all of the world. So at that time, the part of the Silk Road that was within Central Asia, or you can say that that part of Silk Road that was coming under the empire of Ghaznavids, in that region, what the Ghaznavid rulers did, they began to tax merchants, because this area was acting as a bridge for the traders to move from Silk Road to rest of the world, especially to subcontinent and Europe. So they were bound to pay tax to Ghaznavid rulers. In this way, Ghaznavid rulers, they became more wealthy. They also traded in goods themselves. They brought gunpowder, tea, paper, fine pottery from China to the subcontinent, and cotton, sugar, spices, and perfumes from the subcontinent to China and Europe. Trade grew rapidly. To keep their empire, to keep their states in financially stable, or you can say more wealthy, they began to focus on their own trades. They started import and export of different products all around the world, especially subcontinent and Europe. But when Mahmud died, the Ghaznavid Empire broke up into smaller states, all fighting for power. Instead of staying united and handling all the affairs of empire together, what the state rulers did, they began to fight for power. As a result, that whole empire broke up into smaller states, and every state was having its own king, or you can say that the main in charge who was handling all the affairs of those smaller states. That was all about explanation of these two topics. Now we are going to start the written work. Before starting the written work, I want all of you to keep sticky notes with you so that you can jot down all the questions that I have mentioned here. In our first lesson, we did till question number 5. Today we are going to start from question number 6. Question number 6. What is the difference between jizya and zakat? For its answer, you have to move to point number 1. It's line number 3. Jizya till collected. Question number 7. What Muslims took back to Arabia and Persia from subcontinent? For its answer, you have to move to second last point. It's line number 1, starting from they till medicine. Question number 8. What is believed about ruins of Bambor? For this, you have to refer to info corner. This whole info corner is answer number 8. Question number 9. Who were appointed to solve problems of Muslims and non-Muslims? For its answer, you have to refer to point number 2. This whole point starting from Qazis, ending at priest, is answer number 9. Short question answers of book page number 96. Again, you have to paste sticky note on this page too, so that you can jot down all the questions here. Starting from question number 10. Why did Subcontinent made many raids to the subcontinent? For its answer, you have to move to paragraph number 1. It's line number 3. Starting from the King Subcontinent till Muslim Empire. That makes it end of the paragraph. Question number 11. How was Mahmud of Ghazni being a ruler. For its answer, move to paragraph number 2. It's line number 2. He was very fierce till Jobs. Question number 12. How did the Ghaznavid become wealthy? For its answer, move to paragraph number 3. It's line number 2, starting from the word the, ending at wealthy. Question number 14. Where was Silk Road situated? For its answer, you have to move to the first two lines of third paragraph, starting from the great trade route till Central Asia. That was all about our today's topic. I hope topic was clear to you. In case you have any queries left, I want all of you to note them down on any paper and place it within that chapter so that when you will return to school, we will discuss them in detail, inshallah. Till then, stay home, stay safe. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.